Howdy, folks. Widget Wells from needcoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer review. For the uninitiated, there I am. Not there I am for the uninitiated, I'm there for all of you. For the uninitiated, here's how it works. I've just left the cinema, where it's over there, where I have seen a film, and I'm going to tell you about it on my way home. And this evening we're here to talk about Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. Okay, so Sherlock Holmes. So, synopsis is this. Our heroes, Holmes and Watson, are basically disbanded because Watson is getting married. He doesn't have time for that whole running around and fighting crime shenanigans. And, but he's brought back into the fray because there is the shadowy figure that we saw in the last film, Professor Moriarty, that Holmes has figured out is behind all manner of crime and badness, and knows that Moriarty is up to something bad and is going to stop him, come hell or high water. So, and the heat's on because it's cold, finally. Anyway, so, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a conspiracy, and there's stuff, and there's big guns, and there's fortune teller, and stuff, all the stuff we saw in the trailer. There is your synopsis. Okay, so here's the thing. I really enjoyed the first film because I thought it was fun. And I thought that, I don't remember how much it had in the way of detractors, but I know there were some critics who did not enjoy it. And I just thought, it's fun. It's not supposed to be, serious period cinema, costume drama. It's fun. It's, and it's just basically taking the badass portions of the Sherlock Holmes mythos and running with them. And by badass, I mean the guy's a badass and can mess you up type of thing. Not just with his mind, but, I think Doc said he actually did box and all that stuff. So it's not too far to make him, they didn't make him complete Kung Fu master, but I mean, come on. So, but I liked the first film because it was fun. Now, the second film has some things to offer because you do still have Robert Downey Jr., who is obviously having a great time playing Sherlock Holmes. Now, granted, he does play it in such a way that it's not like Robert Downey Jr. Disappears into the role. In fact, a second ago, I almost, instead of saying Holmes, said Downey, like that was the character. But it is kind of like quirky Robert Downey Jr. with an accent, and the ability to summon slow motion at will. But that's fine, right? I have no problem with that because he's good at it. And also you get Jared Harris as Moriarty, and he's a nice, evil, diabolical villain. Saying that randomly, apparently. But no, so watching the two of them face off is fun, and that makes the thing worthwhile. So you have that to look forward to. But the thing that was so prevalent in the first film that I found missing a lot here is just simply unadulterated fun. Now, the film tries to have fun, but it tries to have fun in the way that, well, this is an extreme example, but you know how when you're younger, your parents will try to have fun with you on your level of fun? Like, you're listening to Faith No More, and they'll pick up a tambourine and try to tambourine along with Faith No More, and you're just going, you're missing it. That's what it feels like, to a lesser extent, with Game of Shadows. I appreciate that you're putting Robert Downey Jr., I don't appreciate that you're putting Robert Downey Jr. in drag. It's not something I was wishing for. Going, oh, if only, and we've seen him in an armor that flies. If only we could find him in a dress. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I appreciate that you were trying to do that from the standpoint of him, that being one of his disguises. But just because you're in drag, that does not equal comedy, right? That doesn't equal we're having fun now. Just because, jokes having to do with horses don't automatically equal fun. Fun sort of, if there were formulas for creating fun, then we would have it bottled, and Hollywood would be able to just generate fun at a moment's notice. More films would be fun than they are, because that's what we want. Does anyone want to go to a film and, as I mentioned in the Mission Impossible review, yes, there are some films that you want to go to, and you go to them because you're not going to have fun. You don't necessarily go to see something like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something. Anything by Cormac McCarthy, right? You don't necessarily go to there and want to just skip out with a smile on your face. Well, what I'm saying is there are some films, like action films and like mystery films and like stuff like that, stuff like this, action mystery films, that you want to have fun with, because it feels like it's there to have fun with you, but it's tambourining along to Faith No More. And that was the problem. Instead of just having fun, it was trying to have fun. It was trying really hard to have fun. And when it decides that, and it sits around a lot, is what I felt like. There was not a lot happening for stretches of time. And then when stuff would happen, it would happen, capital H, but it just took forever to get there. And when things started going, I was on board, but then it just seemed to stop. There were obvious, sections where they said, this is this section where action happens. This is this section where action happens. In between are where people talk. It just felt like that. The slow motion bits that are hinted at in the trailer are cool. So when it decides to get off its ass and move, it's a good film. When it's got Downey and Harris facing off against each other, it's a good film. When other stuff is happening, not so good. Although I must say that anytime Stephen Fry is on a big screen, bigger than my television at home, then that is also a goodness. But that was the thing. I had spats of fun. I had doses of fun. I did not have a fun experience all the way through. And it's mostly due to, the way it was scripted. And there were just bits where I found myself questioning why they weren't doing it in a different way. Why they, the characters, weren't doing it a different way. And that's a problem. And that's hard to write for. Whether you're writing for Batman or Wolverine or whatever, somebody who's supposed to be the best there is at what they do, right? That's Wolverine's line, right? If you're the best you are at what you do, and someone in the audience can easily see a better way of doing what you're doing, something's wrong, right? Unless you explain why that won't work, or you address it, or something, anything. That's why I had a couple problems like that. So overall, I would say, rating-wise, I would give it, sadly, I would go with 2 out of 5 cups. And mostly that's buoyed up by the stuff that I talked about, but specifically Downey and Harris in particular. And I would say, despite the explodo that does happen, because there is a substantial amount of it, they figured out a way to make it bigger than the first film, I'll give them that. Despite the amount of that happens, if you're trying to save money this holiday season, then you should probably wait for it to come out on DVD or Blu-ray. And, you'll miss a little bit, but not that much, because there's lots of bits where people talk a lot. Not that I didn't want people to talk, but I wanted their talk to be a bit more substantial, shall we say. So yeah, I would say wait. If you can't wait, then at least catch a matinee or something. Or wait and go to it like a Tuesday when you can get a discounted ticket when nobody goes to the theater. Something like that. And I think you'll find that you'll be happier about it. Otherwise, I'm going to go home and look up online to see when the BBC Sherlock starts back up again. So anyway, that's what I got to say about Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadows. Not much more to go through other than that, except to say I appreciate everybody who watches these things. I hope you do enjoy them. And if you do, please, especially during this wonderful time of year, if you are doing your last-minute shopping on Amazon, you can go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, and the stuff that you buy using that link, we get kickbacks for, which helps pay for things like the gas that I'm expending now to go home, where I can look up when the BBC Sherlock starts. Anyway, so thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.